Hi everyone. Today we're talking about a super fun topic, which is marketing, and we'll be looking at a couple different ways that you can market your project. So as you all know, marketing is the process of promoting and selling products or services, and that can include market research and advertising. And this is important for you guys because you're going to want to be using it, like I said earlier, to promote any types of events or fundraisers that are part of your project. Now, the first thing you need to do is define your audience, and you'll have already done this in another path, but just as a reminder, it means thinking about their demographics. What do they like to do? How do they act? So that way you're marketing to the right audience in the right way. Today we'll look at 4 different types of marketing. There's social media, email marketing, flyers and posters, and word of mouth. There's other ways that you could, of course, market, but these are ones that we think are the most applicable to you as a student looking to start their own community project. So the first one is social media. You guys all know what this is. It's Instagram, TikTok, etc. You can use videos, which is great. You could use photos, you can use stories. You all know how to use these sites, and it can be really awesome because there's a super wide reach, which means you can contact a lot of people and share, and you can act and react to what people are posting or saying. You can interact with them. You can create really engaging content, and you can target exactly what you want. But the only problem is, of course, as you've seen with people that are, influencers or people that sell products online, you have to have frequent updates, and it can actually be pretty time consuming. The other problem is that obviously, you're competing against the rest of the world, and not all platforms are going to work for all ages. So if you think about it, like who in your mind uses Facebook the most? Who uses Instagram? Who uses TikTok? Who uses Twitter? So you can't just assume that everyone is on the same platforms that you are. Another option that you might want to use is email marketing. So these are sending out emails or newsletters. It can be very successful because you can communicate directly to your audience and you can personalize the content, and you also can measure it pretty well. So through different email marketing like applications, you're able to actually track who's opening your emails, are they clicking through to your links, etc. So that's kind of a nice pro. But the problem is, of course, is not everybody likes to use their email, so you have to really choose your audience well. And a lot of people don't like these emails necessarily because it could be seen as kind of like spammy or too intrusive. So you just need to be careful with who are you sending it to? Who's your audience? Are they going to like this, or are they going to think of it as spam? So flyers and posters are a really great option for you guys. Of course, there's the problem of the environmental impact using paper. So I would try to think, how can you limit any type of paper waste? But they're like totally free. I mean, I guess they're only free if you have all the materials. So you might need to go out and buy a couple materials or use whatever your school has available to you or an arts and crafts center. But other than that, it's relatively cheap, and you can post it exactly where you want it. If you want your community to get involved in something, post it around that specific community. A downside of that is that people can overlook a poster, and you're obviously not going to be able to post this all around your city, for example, or your country to try to get as many views and interested people as you would like. But it is a really good option, and it's super good for community events or any type of local announcements, so this might be right up a lot of your alley. And the last one is word of mouth. So this is just having people share from one person to the next what's happening. And this is really good for events that happen more than one time. And every event will help the community build more trust and trust you and your service or product. So it is relatively limited because obviously only the people that go the first time or use the product the first time are the only ones who can share, but hopefully it spreads. It's pretty hard to control the message because, as we all know, you can't tell people exactly what to say. They may like something or not like something. But the best part is it's totally free, so that's always a good plus. And it can be super effective in really tight-knit communities. So again, a really great option to just get the word out about your product or about your event. So choosing your channel can be kind of hard, but I think you guys can all do it. So you need to first think about your audience. So where do they spend their time? What platforms do they use? Go back to that path that talks all about your audience. Then think about your budget. So do you have a budget for this? Are you going to be able to afford, making the flyers or paying for the email marketing campaign, or do you need it to be something free like word of mouth? You also need to think about your goals. So what are you trying to achieve with your marketing? What do you want them to do? Are you just trying to promote awareness? Do you need them to donate? Do you need them to come to the event? So make sure you have a really clear goal so that your message is very clear to your audience. And then the last thing is just to double check that your channel aligns with your project's message and goals. And then, of course, after this, you would start creating your actual marketing campaign. So here are 2 case studies that you can read through. I'll briefly go through one, and then you can take a look at the second one. So the first one is a project of a high school tutoring program. So let's say a group of students organizes a free after-school tutoring program for younger students in math and science at the local community center twice a week. So a really great channel for this could be social media. And the reason for this is that you can really quickly reach students, which is wonderful because that's who you're aiming for. You can reach parents and you can reach out to your community members. You have the opportunity to share successful stories. You can post photos of yourself working. You can share success stories. So it's a really great format. And you can target who you want. So you can focus on the parents of the school-age children, for example. So there's other channels that you could use, but this is just one that might be an interesting choice. And then this is case study 2. So I said I wasn't going to go into it, but I'm going to anyways. So this is a community garden project. So our high school environmental club starts a community garden to promote sustainability and provide fresh produce to local families needing volunteers for planting, maintenance, and workshops. So a good option here are flyers and posters, which is kind of ironic because it is environmental, but you can always find, recyclable options maybe. And the reason is because you can distribute directly into the schools, into the community centers, and into the local business. And the flyers are a great physical reminder for the event and for getting more volunteers. And of course, always a good plus is that it's very inexpensive to print or to create, and you can distribute it yourself. So hopefully you guys learned a little bit more about different types of marketing today. And now you just need to go off and try your best. And again, reach out to us in your guides if you have any questions.